Hello, everybody. This is Brother Speak of the Brother Speak podcast. I'm up late at work, so just want to check in, have this late night discussion, and topic is going to be what living off a woman does to a man. Now, I was having a conversation with Max and Dame of the Ebony Star Network, and shouts out to them at the Ebony Star Network. And we was talking about black women being hypergamous. And one of the things that gets a lot of black women in trouble is letting some dude live off of them. Especially a unproductive dude live off of them. So, and I told my story about being the bum, the homosexual, the 50-50 dude, then ultimately becoming the provider. And I can tell you, being the bum, the homosexual 50-50 guy, it's never a good position for a man. Living off a woman just it doesn't feel right. You know, especially you're a man that has some type of pride. It never feels right. Yeah, yeah. First of all, it's a natural urge to want to provide for your woman. I don't care what a lot of these dudes say. It is a natural urge. So, you're coming in a relationship where you're not the primary breadwinner. You're coming into the relationship, on the 50-50, or you're living off her house, living off of her, moving into her house, or Section 8, or her apartment, even her parents' house. Yeah, I did that. And to to a man, it hurts your pride, for one, because I can't take it myself. And women, they talk you into doing stuff like that. Some of us be desperate to do it, and we think, oh, I can just live with her for a bit, get myself together, and then boom, we'll be together. It don't always happen like that because one, you kind of get comfortable, and two, the depression get in because you're like, damn, I can't buy my chick this. We struggling. I gotta use her money just to do stuff. I gotta come to her like a child with your hand out. I had to do that. Shit, I had to do that to her, my ex. I had to do that with her mother. Come with my hand out, begging. That's a terrible feeling, man. It's terrible, man. Uh, I mean, you get comfortable with it, but then you get depressed because man, I should be doing better than this. I should be having my own place, having my own, and taking care of my woman, taking care of buying her things. You see stuff on TV. Yeah, I would like to get that, but I can't get that because I ain't got no money. Matter of fact, she getting me some of the stuff. You know, and it's very depressing feeling. And what happens is you get depressed, then you get angry because you're angry at her because she's doing better. And in reality, sometimes the woman's not even doing that much better than you are. But it's just the fact that you're living off of her. She has a place, whether she's working to get it, Section 8, she getting school housing. However she got it, that's how she got it. But you're not providing that for her. And you're living off of her. That's that's a terrible feeling to be like that. So you're getting angry at her and you're blaming her. And you're getting upset and angry, you know, because it's not natural for you to live off a woman. If it's natural for you, that's a problem. That means you're gonna be like that forever. I should know. I have an older brother, always living off chicks. He's never been able to break that mold. He always had to have a chick around. I mean, there was one time he got out of prison. About a week later, there's a chick around. I'm like, how do you get a chick? What is this? And I'm like, he's using her car. I'm like, man, this is some crazy shit. And and on top of that, the woman that I remember in particular, the woman, it wasn't even her car, it was a mom's car. But they just riding around, he driving it. And I'm like, dude, how you can live like that, man? How you live like that, just living off somebody? Like, I couldn't do it, man. Like, man, when I did it, it was not fun. Man, I felt so much better when I was providing. When I actually went to work, had a stable job, and actually providing. Was it, was it stressful? Yeah, it was still stressful. Don't get me wrong, because we kind of behind the eight ball. We was in a lot of debt, but it felt so much better for buying stuff, for getting this, for giving her a little gift, taking her somewhere, and you got your money, as opposed to she taking you somewhere like you some goddamn kid. Man, it can't live like that. And so I was, like I said, I was the bum living off her. She going to work, and not she's raking in dough. We're just living off of her student loan money and her mom and dad's money, and the little job that she had, a little part time job, while I'm trying to get my shit together. And yeah, that wasn't a good feeling. And then you get lazy. That happens, and you get used to it. You get comfortable with it, but you're never truly comfortable. It's like, well, I wouldn't even say comfortable. I guess accept it. You accept it, and it takes a lot to get out of that. Sometimes it takes the woman to get you out of that. You know, I remember we were going to Galveston, took a trip on her on her. I'm trying to think it was on her money or it was on mom's money. But we went to Galveston, and then we come back. We stopped at Fry's Electronics, and she just filled out the application form, filled it out. They called me, and and I got the job. I mean, compared to now, it was like, well, even then it was a bullshit job, but at least I was making money, and so we could do little things. And we was planning on moving into our own apartment because at the time we was living. It was between living with my mom, living with her mom and dad, and then living with my dad. And we started living with my dad because it's closer to the job. And so started going like so we was kind of trying to get it out. We were starting to get out of it. Then I did something stupid, not putting oil in things because we were I was making some money, but it wasn't enough. So I didn't put no get an oil change. And so I messed up the car. So my dad started taking it. He wasn't happy about that. So I'm dependent on him as well as my ex at the time. So so it's like a double whammy. And me not being I'm not the most neat person in the world. So he come in my room like, why don't you clean up your room? I'm like, wait a second, I'm a grown ass man. Why am I clean? Why are you telling me to clean up my room? I'm like, I'm living in his house. I'm eating his food. I'm not buying any food. So it's like you kind of, and then you bring I'm bringing my wife over to my dad's house, and she's eating off of his food. So it's like it's a double whammy. So it's like you're living off of people. It's a terrible feeling as a man. And then they start treating you like a child. Even my mother-in-law started treating me like a child because I'm living off of them. So you living off of them, they treating you like a child. My ex was treating me like a child. It was between being treated like a child and treated like a little servant because she would at the time, even before that, when she was still in college. She would bring me her assignments to do her assignments for her. Help her with her assignments, even do them, because part of the thing was math, and she wasn't good at math. I was good at math, so I'm doing the assignments for her, right? Even trying to write the paper for her. I'm like, I don't know nothing about nursing, and I don't know nothing about this shit, but that's what happens because you're living off of her, and you got to earn your keep somewhere. She wanted me to clean the house, do her homework. I remember one time I was supposed to do this homework and I didn't do it, partially because I was rebelling, partially because I didn't know how to do it. And she came back, got an F on it. It just broke her heart and broke my heart, and but she recovered from it, but I was just like the fact that I even had to I put myself in that position because I'm living off of her. And, it still took a while to get out of that. I eventually did. Once I got from, once I got from Fry's and actually got into the career that I am now, which is corrections, that's when that started going away. Um, oh, there was one thing that did happen. Another reason why I say living off a woman is not a good thing for any man. I remember I was applying for a job at Harris County, and they called me. I was going to take the job, but then I decided not to take the job. I don't know why at the time. I probably should have taken the job. No, actually, in hindsight, it probably was the best thing. But at the time, I don't know why I was not taking the job. But it was, but I, she found out because they had called me, and I told them no, I wasn't going to take the job. Man, the anger she had for me during that time. I mean, of course, she's gotten angry at me later on in our relationship. But at that time, that was like the angriest I ever saw her. And I thought she was gonna hit me, to be honest. But yeah, that was, don't you ever refuse a job again. That's how I mean she was angry. But that's what happens when you're living off a woman. I mean, you don't have the freedom to do things. Like if you see that this job is not good for you, but she's like, you need a job. I'm tired of taking care of you. And you see the disappointment in her face. That made me even more depressed. So, like I said, it's stressful living off a woman. She's gonna try to treat you like either a child or she's gonna try to treat you like a servant. And that's gonna piss you off. I don't even care how good your sex is. It's gonna happen. So it's always better to be the provider than the servant. You have your own money, you have your own shit, and you can provide for her. It's better to be in that position. She'll respect you more. Yeah. Or at the very least, have your own stuff. So you ain't under her 24/7. And that's one thing I think young men make the mistake on when they talk about living under a woman, living off a woman. You're under her 24/7. It's like, how can I miss you if you're not gone? I'm like, ugh. I mean, we were under each other every day. We didn't get a break. And that causes a lot more stress. You know, that's too much. So yeah, I mean, you should not live off a woman as a young man. Don't do that. Get your own stuff. I don't care how she convinces you. Don't let her do it. Like, no, I'm keeping my own place. I don't care if it's your roommate's place. I don't care if you got a roommate. Hell, I don't even care if it's your mom's house. Stay over there. Do not move in with a chick. Do not live off a chick. It's not a good look. Because once you get used to it and it start feeling like you you feel like you deserve to be living off her, that's when your problem's gonna be. And you're gonna be like that for life. Mm-mm. Don't let her convince you. Ooh. I mean, if you gotta stay at your friend's house till you get your shit together, go ahead and do that. You got time, she can come visit. You can go visit her. Visit. No, but do not stay. Do not stay. So it's better off for your relationship. And if it don't survive, it don't survive. But at least you're gonna have less stress. It's nothing. Nothing worse than just being, nothing worse than stressing over money, stressing over stuff you don't need to be stressing over. Be treated like a little child, and it'll happen. It happens. I mean, there's no around it. Mm-mm. And I would say, like to the ladies, don't let a man live off you. Do not do that. Don't be like the big mamas. Don't be like your mamas. No, don't let no man live off of you. You're better off. Look, let he can visit, but no, cannot stay. No. Mm-mm. You don't even want him getting the idea he can live off you. Because dudes do get comfortable. And again, dudes get depressed. And then they're gonna take it out on you. And either they're gonna beat you, either they're gonna cheat, or it's gonna just be in this depressed state where it's very hard for them to get out of it. You don't want to engage in that, especially in 2021, where it's a lot of people right now are out of pocket. Their minds ain't right. And the last thing you need to be doing is bringing a dude whose mind ain't right into your situation and you fitting the bill for him. I'm like, dude, I mean, if you want to do like that, you need someone to, come lay the pipe down, get a gigolo, go to a swingers club. They let single women in there. I mean, shit. But the last thing you need is bringing some dude in, living off of you. Because again, you're going to end up being his mama. You're going to end up being his master. Now, you think that might sound good, but trust me, man. What eventually happens, he going to rebel. Next thing you know, you hear squeaking in your bedroom. And no, it ain't from him. He ain't just jerking off in there. There's someone in the bed with him. Now, in 2021, the question is gonna be who's in there with him? It's gonna be a woman. It's gonna be a man. Is it gonna is it gonna be the GAY or the Tigo? Which one is it gonna be? Which one is it gonna be? 2021, it could be anybody. So yeah, you don't want them problems. Mm-mm. Shit. Living off you don't want a man living off you. Mm-mm. Well, a lot of these relationships, that's why a lot of women get bitter because you had this dude living off you. And like I said, a lot of these worthless dudes are able to ride because a lot of you ladies keep letting them lay on you. I mean, live off of you. It doesn't do anybody any good. You know, it just doesn't. Um, Another thing, and I think Max brought this up. I'm trying to remember what was it? Yeah, the women are a support system to men. I agree. However, lot of men have been taught that to be dependent on women. That's a big difference. Women are your support. You know, they can be support. They should be your backup, but they shouldn't be your crush. And a lot of times, we as men use women as crutches. And it's not really our fault. We were taught that. Even the pimps, the players, to the guys who love women way too much, married men, they all taught the same thing. Using women as a crutch, either as an emotional crutch, or financial crutch, a sexual crutch, mental crutch. All of it is you using a woman as a crutch. There's nothing wrong with a woman supporting you. You know, especially in a marriage, you definitely want a woman to be your support system. She's gonna be the one that, you know, I remember Max was talking about, you know, being able to come home, give your wife the check, and she takes it from there, and being able to run the household for you. That's not a bad thing. Kind of wish I had that, but I was more better with money than my wife was. So yeah, that probably wouldn't have gone well. But I do like the sentiment of it. However, I, there is what men were taught that you have to be dependent on women, and I don't think you need to be teaching that. That's one thing I do like about Red Pill, MGTOW, the SYSBM, even the Black Manosphere. They do teach to an extent not to be dependent on women. However, a lot of them over there do um, demonize women, you know, and then they start letting in the pimps around and players around, and then that's where the message kind of get muddled. So now it's all over the place, you know. I know Dane was talking about how the message is all over the place. And I'm like, yeah, the message is all over the place because you let too many people around who shouldn't be talking. You know, it should have been about men getting power over their lives and then power in the environment. But when you start letting in the dating coaches, you let the pimps in, you let the players in, and then you let in the people who, let's face it, probably couldn't get a woman if they tried. Too many bitter dudes whose butt hurt because their woman left them for a Fuki or whoever. So now you got the message on mode. But the main thing it should be your woman is your support system, but she shouldn't you shouldn't be dependent on her. What do I mean? Let's say that I have this big screen TV, weighs like 100 pounds. Now I'm strong enough to pick up a 100 pound TV by myself, but it's gonna cause a strain. Now, if I pick it up wrong, yeah, that my back gonna be hurting. But the support is okay. I take one side, she takes one side, and we're together lifting this TV. That's what I mean by support. Now, dependent is different. I'm waiting on her to come lift. I, I see this 100 pound TV, and here she comes. And now I'm waiting on her for me to do anything with this TV. That's dependence. You shouldn't never be dependent on a woman. She's your support. So if she sees you in trouble, she can help you, but not you waiting on her to do anything. So you don't want to be dependent. And the 50-50 thing, 50-50 relationships. 50-50 relationships, man, they don't work because that's a partnership. If the man's supposed to be the leader and provider and protector, you're not going to get that in a 50-50 relationship because number one, you're on equal footing. It's like partners. There's no one in charge. And you go into a marriage like that, nobody's leading the ship. Everybody's free to do their own thing. Now, the mission of the marriage gets muddled because there's nobody directing anything. So definitely 50-50 is not a good thing. Then let's just say one person lose their job. Now you depended on them to do their part. Now they lost their job. Now you both fucked because somebody's check is not enough to pay for whatever bills you have. Whereas if the man is the head and making all the money, and the woman is bringing her part, she could be the backup in case something happens. Let's say he loses his job. She, they can live off her check until he get back on his feet. Now that's support. When you're in 50-50, you're dependent. So if shit goes south, he lose his job or she lose her job. Now you both ass out because that one check ain't enough. So yeah, 50-50 don't work. Well, I put it this way. It takes a mature bunch of people to do it. And especially in 2021, a lot of us are not that mature. Especially if you're young, you're not mature enough for that. They usually get bungled because, like I said, if somebody lose their job, now you both fuck because you can't cover whatever rent of whatever living space you're living in because it wasn't enough. That's why you're doing 50-50. So yeah, that's not a good thing either. For a man, because again, you're back to being dependent on her. Now you got your own money, but it's still not enough for whatever you're trying to do. And now you stuck depending on her money. And that's more stress on everybody. Now you're arguing because she didn't cover her part. Maybe she's a little short. Now, yeah, it's like I said, you gotta be mature bunch of people, mature people to do it. A lot of us is not that mature, so it'd be better you just stay single. So yeah, but yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah, it's like men shouldn't be living off of women. Don't do it. It's not a good look. I mean, it'd be better if you're a man and you really are struggling. If you're at least decent looking, you'd be better off just being a gigolo or male stripper. At least, at least with a gigolo, you can leave. You go, you cook, you entertain her, whatever hours she paying for, then you leave. You ain't got to be dependent. on her. You ain't gotta depend on her for the living. No, you spend your time, you get your check, and you get the fuck up out of there. Or a stripper. That would be more beneficial if you know you got the looks for that. I don't know. Even now, I mean, you need to be a decent looking dude. You probably get some chick to pay for you. But man, better than living off of them. Tell you that. 50-50. I mean, if I could, I would. But if I could be a gigolo, I would, man. That would be great. But I don't have to look for it. I originally, wanted to be a porn star, but I don't meet the size requirement. If y'all get my meaning. And then now that I hear about some of the stories that these male porn stars got to go through just to keep their penis hard, I'm like, oh, hell no. No, we can't do that. Oh, needles in the penis? Oh, that just sound painful. Oh, I'm like, man, I understand it's for your crap, but goddamn, I'm not letting somebody mess with my penis. Not like that. I mean, look, jerk it off, great. Suck it, great. Ride it, great. But no, we're not putting needles in my penis. We're not having surgery. No, we ain't doing none of that. That's crazy. That's insane. No, definitely not doing that. Ow. Just be a gigolo, man. And gigolo, either gigolo, either be, I don't know, male escort, something like that. Do that. Don't live off a woman. Not good. Just not good, man. Less stress on both of y'all. Yeah, so yep, that's it. I'm gonna get off of here and I might start another one right quick. Y'all have a good one.